Hey everyone, and welcome back to Make the Music, and today I'm breaking down another sound. I'm going into Euthanasia by Megadeth. We're going to be looking at the song Family Tree for this example. You can find the multi-tracks for this session 100% free. They're in the description box down below. Check them out, do your own mix of the song. Anyways, let's get into the session. Let's figure out how I got this thing done. Alright, so let's get into my session for Megadeth Euthanasia. You just heard that play through there. I felt I got pretty close with this one. Let me do just another quick 10 seconds to give you some context for how it sounds. Felt like I got pretty close with that one. I'm going to start actually with the master bus here. So this is everything I have going on. Pretty standard master bus stuff for me if you ever watched my mixing tutorials. Virtual mix bus, I've got Revival going on, the custom series EQ. Nothing too crazy there. A little stock EQ. I'm actually making some pretty big moves here. 4 dB, 6.1 dB, although there's some cuts here. So trying to carve out the sound to get to closer to the Megadeth version. I'm also matching the 2004 remastered version of the Megadeth. I'm not matching the original, by the way. That's actually really important when it comes to this stuff. Adding a little bit of stereo width, bus compression, waves compressor, limiting, and then of course using Ozone 10 EQ with dynamics. Great for helping me match that when I can't 100% do it by ear and with some simple plugins. So that's what the master bus is has got going on there. It gives you context for everything else. So here is the Superior Drummer preset. Let's open that up here. Metal Machine, pretty good for this style. I'm gonna solo the drums real quick. I didn't output the drums either. I did most of the processing inside of Superior Drummer 3. That's what's nice about Superior Drummer 3, and it looks like just mostly EQ plugins. For the kit, standard Metal Machine kit for the kick. It looks like I'm using the Tamastar Classic, so kick 1 for the Metal Machine. And with the envelope and offset, I'm really limiting how much sustain that kick has, and then I'm using a sample here. For the snare, we've got the snare 1 mixed in with a snare sample, making sure the decay is not too long. And everything else seems to be stock to the kit, and even the hi-hat. So nothing too crazy there with the drum kit, obviously. I got some EQ on the kicks, adding highs, getting rid of low mids. For the snare top, getting rid of lots of low mids there, and then same thing with the bottom. So pretty similar processing there. Overheads, adding some top end as well. And then this is for my kick sample, adding similar processing there. So that's what I'm doing to the drums. So nothing too drastic. I'm using CLA Epic, which is adding some room sound, some reverb to it. So if I take that off, so that's adding some nice room sound there, a nice little ambience to the whole drum sound. So the drums play by themselves. I think compared to the original track, I got pretty close there. Let's go to the bass guitar. The bass guitar on this album is like really top heavy, which is surprising to me. But if you listen to like the bass soloed in the verse, it's not like too low end heavy. The guitars actually have a lot more low end in the mix, which was pretty surprising to me. What I used for the amp was the THU Slate Overloud. And I used this bass face, like not something I typically do. I typically do like maybe a amp match or something, but for this, it just seemed to work. Here's the settings here for that amp. So yeah, that's what I went with, and there's a compressor on it, but that's about it. Pretty top end heavy, but it seemed to just work for the song. I threw it on early in the tracking process and just kind of went with it. Obviously, there's a lot of post processing here to get it to fit. It's really a lot of mid-range in this bass guitar, which is a very different style that I'm using to mix. I mean, look at all the top end. I'm adding 15 dB, 5.9. Like if I take these plugins off, it's super bright, right? But if you listen to the verse, let me give you context here.
The tigers eat their young.
I mean, that's pretty close to what it was. That's what I had to do to get this to sound right. EQ, more boost in the upper mids, and then CLA 76 black channel, or I should say the black compressor.
The
And then that's doing a ton of compression there. So that's the bass guitar sound. So our rhythm section is sounding like this. That's what we got going on there. Let's get to the guitars, okay? So once again, I'm using amp match sound for the Euthanasia guitars. So I'm using Bias FX2 amp match. Obviously, I amp match this preset. You can find that in my tone match playlist. And that's what I did for these guitars. But if I'm loading up the preset here, it's just going to be the same thing for what you're used to. I maybe even rematched it for this song. I can't quite remember, but yeah, Euthanasia. 2004, I got the drive pedal on, but without the plugins, I get to the guitars here. They sound good, but there's actually a lot of post-processing that we need to do to get it to sound right. So here's all the plugins I added. So we start with Virtual Mix Rack here. Let me do it this way. Added some board EQ, a lot of low. Look how much low, 152. I did 7 dB at 152 hertz. Crazy. Never would have thought I had to do that on a guitar plugin, but here we are. Let's go to second where it plays. Tons of low, tons of thump with this guitar. And then I'm using the blue compressor with the virtual mix rack here. Doing a couple dB worth of compression, EQ, lots of like upper mids and top, more low, more like 200 hertz, which is just, like I said, crazy to me. Then there's clearly some sort of a plate on these guitars as well. You can really hear that like low mid thump in the track. Let me play it.
Let me show you how I love you.
I couldn't even get all the way there. There's so much low end. But yeah, that's what's in the track. And then I've got some leads going on, same settings though. So that's what I got going on for the guitar sound. That finally brings us to the vocals here. So let me solo them real quick.
Don't try doing it to me. Let me show you how I love you.
So what do I got going on here? Well, I got quite a few plugins for the vocals. A little bit of tuning, a little bit of that doubling effect that I've talked about in other videos, but I'm doing some tuning here. EQ, getting rid of a lot of lows, adding some top end. Then I came in with the virtual mix rack and went with my typical chain, going with actually this Neumann mic setting. So I used, you can actually use any mic with the Slate stuff and just throw the virtual mic on. It's just adding a character to your mic sound. And so I'm actually using the Neumann UA7 sound, going to the 1073 in through the virtual channel and then revival. So a lot of stuff going on here. And then into the blue channel compressor. So a lot going on with the virtual mix rack. Limiter.
Try doing it.
It's doing a lot of work. De-essing and then into a couple different reverbs. So I got the lustrous plates one here. Let me take the other one off.
Try doing it to me.
That's kind of giving me a plate chamberish feel, and then using the Epic Stereo.
Try doing it to me.
Add some more dynamic space, mixing some reverbs together. So if I take everything off and add it one at a time.
Try doing it to me. Let me show you how I love you. It's our secret, you and
Proper EQ, plenty of compression, and then some ambience. That's really the key to a good vocal sound, especially in a hard rock song. So yeah, that is my settings for this Euthanasia sound. I felt like I got pretty close there. You can hear the comparison I'm about to do.
let me show you how I love you. It's our secret, you and me. Let me show you how I love you, but keep it in the family.
There you go. That's what I used to get the sound. Let me know in a comment down below how close did I get. Was I able to do this one? This one was much harder than expected, actually. I had to do a lot of work on getting the sounds right. Let me know if there's any other albums or songs you'd like me to try and match and explore there. Like I said, the multi-tracks are in the description down below. Now let's do a full playthrough of the songs so you can hear what I was able to accomplish, and I'll see you guys next time.
on the